I found out my husband had been lying to me for 4 years on a completely random Wednesday afternoon. Not because he told me. Not because someone warned me. Because I accidentally opened the wrong email on his laptop while I was looking for a recipe he had saved. One wrong click. 4 years of lies. This is what happened next. My name does not matter. What matters is that for 6 years I thought I was in a happy marriage. We had a house. We had a dog. We had a routine that felt like a life. Date nights every Friday. Coffee together every morning. He knew how I took my tea. He remembered my mother's birthday every year without being reminded. He was the kind of husband that women in my office would sigh about when I mentioned him. The kind that made other people say you are so lucky. I was 31 years old and I genuinely believed I had figured out the hardest part of life. I had found my person. I was safe. The Wednesday it all changed started like every other Wednesday. I worked from home that day. He had gone into the office. His laptop was on the kitchen counter because we shared it sometimes when mine was charging in the other room. I was looking for a pasta recipe he had bookmarked months ago. Something with lemon and capers that he had made once and I had never been able to replicate. I opened the browser. And the tab that was already open was not a recipe. It was an email thread. His name at the top. A woman's name I did not recognize. And the first words I saw, the very first words before I even fully registered what I was looking at, were "I miss waking up next to you?" I sat there for a very long time. I do not know how long. The coffee I had just made went cold on the counter next to me. I read the entire thread. Every email going back 14 months. And then I found the folder. The deleted folder that was not fully deleted. And in there were emails going back 4 years. 4 years. Our entire marriage minus the first 14 months. Her name was Claire. She lived in another city, 2 hours away. They had met at a work conference before we were even engaged. And what made it so much worse, so much harder to process, was that it was not just physical. The emails were not just arrangements and logistics. They were intimate. They talked about their days. They talked about their futures. He had told her things about himself that he had never told me. Things about his childhood, his fears, his regrets. He had a whole emotional life with another woman that I had known nothing about. I closed the laptop. I made myself another cup of coffee. And I did something that I still do not fully understand. I went back to work. For 3 hours I sat at my desk and answered emails and attended a video call and acted completely normal. I think my brain simply could not process the information fast enough to react to it. It was like my body kept going while my mind tried to catch up. He came home at 6:30 like always. He kissed me on the cheek like always. He asked how my day was like always. And I looked at him and I thought, I do not know you at all. 6 years of marriage and I do not know you at all. I did not confront him that night. I waited 3 days. During those 3 days I spoke to a lawyer. I made copies of the emails. I took photographs of the financial documents I could find. I transferred a portion of our joint savings into my personal account. I was systematic and calm in a way that I have never been before or since. Looking back, I think I went into a kind of survival mode. My emotions were completely shut down and my logic took over entirely. On the Saturday, I asked him to sit down. I placed my laptop on the table between us with the email thread open. I watched his face. And here is the thing nobody tells you about catching someone who has been lying to you for years. They do not look guilty. They look afraid. Not of what they did but of what happens next. To them. He started talking immediately. The words came out fast and practiced, like he had been rehearsing them. It was complicated. It did not mean what I thought. It was over. He had ended it. He loved me. It would never happen again. He was sorry. He was so sorry. He kept saying he was so sorry. I let him talk until he ran out of words. And then I slid the second document across the table. The one my lawyer had prepared. And I told him I needed him out of the house by Sunday evening. The divorce took 8 months. He contested some of the financial arrangements. He sent me long emails about forgiveness and second chances. He showed up at my mother's house once, which resulted in a very uncomfortable conversation between him and my father that I still do not have full details about. His friends reached out to me to advocate for him. Her name stopped appearing in my search results about 6 months after everything ended, which I chose to interpret as her finding out and leaving him as well. I am not going to tell you I am completely healed. I do not think you ever fully heal from something like this. What I will tell you is that I am genuinely okay. I have a small apartment that is entirely mine. I have a therapist who has helped me understand that his choices were never a reflection of my worth. I have rebuilt friendships that I had neglected during the marriage. And I have learned to trust my instincts in a way I never did before. There were signs. There are always signs. I knew something was slightly off for years. A distance I could never quite name. A version of him I felt like I could never quite reach. I told myself I was being paranoid. I told myself I was insecure. I told myself that no relationship is perfect and I should be grateful for what I had. I wish someone had told me that your gut is never wrong. It might be wrong about the details. But that feeling that something is not right is never wrong. If you are in the middle of something like this right now, I want you to hear me. You are not crazy. You are not too sensitive. You are not imagining things. Trust yourself. And know that whatever is on the other side of this, it is better than living inside a lie. This is my story. Thank you for listening.